She sighed again and hung up. 20 minutes or so later, when he pulled up at the curb in front of his ex-wife's large Victorian house, the door opened before he hit the horn, and his younger daughter staggered out onto the wide porch, carrying her sleeping bag, her pack, an oversized hump on her back. Daisy was barefoot. Her long brown legs were exposed nearly to the crotch in cut-off jeans, legs that were beginning to look less like sticks and more like a woman's, he noted. Emily came out the door after her, turned backward as if to fuss with something behind her. Two pretty, dark young women, one tall, one short. His daughters. He got out of the truck to go and help them. As he started up the walk, he saw Theo emerging from the house behind Emily. The little boy, not yet 3, was carrying a brown paper grocery bag by its handles. Something stuck out of it. A pillow? A blanket? He spotted Mark and smiled. Now Emily took Theo's hand to help him down the wide porch stairs. He paused on each one, and the bag plopped slowly from step to step behind him as he descended. Mark met them on the walk. "Hey," he said. He kissed each girl on her head. They smelled identical, a ladylike herbal perfume, shared shampoo. He took Daisy's sleeping bag from her. "Theo," he said, and extended his hand down to him. "To what do we owe this pleasure?" "I'll explain it all to you," Emily called back. She had moved ahead of them down the walk, between the orderly gray-green procession of rosemary plants. She was tossing her stuff into the open back of the truck. "So, he's supposed to spend the night too?" Mark asked Daisy. Theo was not his son. Theo was his ex-wife's son by her second marriage. He liked Theo. He was, in fact, charmed by him. He knew him well from various extended family events. But he had never before been asked to babysit for him. And actually, no one had even asked. Daisy shrugged. She looked, as she often did, sullen or evasive. Her face was narrower than Emily's, her nose still slightly too big on it. She was 14, her eyebrows darker and thick. She had shot up within the last 2 years, and now she was only a few inches shorter than Mark. She carried it badly, trying to hide it. Mark had worried when she was younger that she would be plain, which seemed to him an almost unbearably sad thing, a plain woman. Within the last 6 months or so, though, her face had changed and strengthened, and he saw that that wouldn't be the case. That she might, in fact, be better looking than Emily in the end, more striking. It had made him easier around her, he realized. They had caught up to Emily, who said again, "I'll explain it later." She sounded irritated, as though she were the adult and he a nagging child. She took Theo's hand and led him to the door of the truck's cab. Mark went around to the driver's side. He opened his door and stood there looking across the cab's wide seat, waiting for Emily to look back at him. She wouldn't, or she didn't. First, she was helping the little boy clamber into the truck. Now she climbed up herself and was busy buckling him in. When she finally raised her eyes and met her father's, he was ready. He lifted his hands. "Hey, Em," he said, "you will admit—" "Daddy, it's an emergency, a real emergency." Her eyes, he noted now, were red-rimmed, their lids swollen. Theo looked over at him and nodded. "It's emergency," he said, and inserted his thumb into his mouth with an air of finality. Daisy squeezed in next to Emily, and Mark got in and started the truck. He pulled into the street. After nearly a full minute had passed, he asked, "So, the nature of this emergency is—" He could feel Emily's gaze on him, and he looked at her. She was frowning. Her dark eyebrows made fierce lines. She shook her head. "We can't. We shouldn't talk about it now." She gestured at Theo, sitting between them, watching them soberly. Mark nodded. After another long moment, he said, "But at some point it will be revealed." "Yeah," she said. She turned away, and when he looked over again, he saw that she and Daisy were holding hands. What the hell was going on? Daisy's mouth hung open stupidly as though she'd been sucker-punched. They drove in near total silence the whole way to his house. Everyone's eyes stayed devoutly on the road, as though